at the same time, when you are working with somebody like Joss, it's almost fun not knowing, because it's like you get to be a part of his process, you know, which is, you know, highly creative and intuitive and surprising, and you know, it has a certain kind of excitement. And when you know, from experience of learning that, because of the product that he puts out, you kind of you trust it, and then you kind of, you know, you just become a part of that creation, and it's quite wonderful, actually. I look forward to it. Would love to do it again. Maybe on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You weren't including me in that, right? Because I never die.
So this question is for J. August Richards.
Yes.
I was really excited by the first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to see you there as a black superhero. And then you went away for a while. And then you came back as Deathlock, and that was very exciting. And I was just wondering if you know anything about how much Deathlock and maybe Agent Trip might be in season 2. No, like what you're going to be doing or anything, but superheroes of color, will we have them?
Here's what I can tell you about season 2. It starts March 23rd. But I love how you tried to bait me with that backdoor question. You ain't getting me fired. If I'm still working. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you the minute I saw that yellow raincoat. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything. See, September 23rd.
March. You said March.
You said March the first time. But no, it comes on September 23rd. Did I say March?
Yeah.
No. September.
And nobody wants to do either.
This is for Amy. I know we don't know much about the cellist as a character, so when you appeared on the show, did Joss give you any information on what her backstory was with Coulson, or did you and Clark Gray come up with anything by yourselves?
Well, I mean, I had that nice monologue that they wrote in the show that kind of talked about how they had met each other and them falling in love and all of that, so we had that to go on. I actually haven't even talked to Joss about having been on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet, because he was busy doing Avengers. But now I'll call him and ask him more. Yeah, I mean, it was neat because I had just how they had talked about her in the movie and how other characters had talked about her before. So there was more to go on than you usually get with a character that you're playing.
This question is actually for Ron for Firefly. I was curious to know what attracted you to the part of Shipper Book? What? What now?
Some smartass here said hair.
You had awesome hair. I miss your hair. Where did it go?
Actually, you know, when I read the pilot, I was like, I was like a little kid who was like in a toy store. And I just felt like that guy, Book, was the toy that I wanted more than any toy I'd ever had. I really wanted, I was so attracted to it, just having read it. And you know what, I just was excited about, see, because, and I didn't say this so well yesterday, but my Firefly was my entree to the world of science fiction. And so I was just excited. And I thought, wow, this is going to be, you know, and then all this thing about the Western thing, and then also having to wear a collar, and then whoever saw this other thing, and I saw some of the sketches for the wardrobe and stuff, and I've always been like a wardrobe guy. Anytime I have a part to play, I always need to know what the shoes are like, and what all this different stuff is. And I saw this thing that said, one of the things that book had, and if you didn't see the pilot, you didn't see it because it was only shown, I only wore it one time, and it was a great coat. And that great coat my imagination just started to go like really with excitement about all the possibility. And okay, so I did 3 auditions. The first 2 auditions I had my hair back because I didn't know whether they wanted hair for the part or not. And I've been growing that hair for about 7 years, and I wasn't going to just cut it off for an audition. So I just got it back, and then by the time the 3rd one came around, I thought, well, you know what? Maybe they're really interested in me, so I better let them know that I got all this damn hair. So that, so obviously they found a way to work that in, so to say. But I was just excited. I was so excited. Because even in the audition process, I could tell from Joss that his creativity and imagination and sort of, there's also a gentleness about Joss that you don't hear a lot of talk about. That I felt intuitively that was also a part of what this character Bush had, that book had. So anyway, I'm just rambling now, but I was just excited about it, just excited about it.
We were too.
Hi, I've loved Joss Whedon since 1997, and I think that all of you have done really wonderful work. But I also teach Shakespeare, so I was really happy about Much Ado About Nothing. And I wanted to ask Amy, I thought your Beatrice was excellent, and I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite passage to perform and why?
I mean, there's so many, but I really loved the If I Were a Man whole part, because my first job out of college was playing Hero in Much Ado at a Shakespeare company in Wisconsin, and I just remembered listening to that speech and watching the Beatrice play that and being like, I want to be her when I grow up. And so then actually getting to do that, and yeah, there was a lot, but that was probably my favorite.
Jay.
Sir.
Three's Company guy back. I'm ready.
Oh, wow.
I chose something.
What did you choose?
Well, I saw on Instagram. Wait, do you want to give a background to what they're about to experience?
So 2 years ago here at DragonCon, somehow he and I ended up singing a duet of the theme song to Three's Company. I don't know how it happened.
Yeah!
It's on YouTube.
It is. I put
So,
it there.
on Instagram, I saw you wear a t-shirt of the Flintstones. Yabba-dabba-doo, Flintstones.
Meet the Flintstones, there's a lot of stories sound of their rock, everything's right out of history.
Come on, Amy and Ron, you can join too.
With the village down the street, with the courtesy of recipe. When you're with the Flintstones, have a yabba dabba do time. We'll have a good time. We'll have a gay old time. Oh my God! Every time. Well done. Okay. So now this is going to be a tradition. Every time I come back to DragonCon, we're going to do old TV theme song. Deal.
I'm sold. That works for me. This is for Amy. This is another much ado question. Your characters over the course of the film consume a massive amount of alcohol. In just about every scene. I was wondering how that plot point, which is unusual for Much Ado About Nothing, how that influenced your portrayal of Beatrice.
Well, that was taken maybe from practice that we had all had in real life. But actually, no alcohol was really consumed during the filming of this movie. There should probably be a disclaimer put on that. A lot after the fact. Yeah, I think, Joss really wanted to have this sort of Kennedy's vibe to the whole movie and this thing of excess and living with that. And so I think that having lots of glasses full and empty of Chardonnay around the place really kind of led to that sort of relaxed atmosphere and help explain why maybe people think that people are other people, and a lot of things kind of make more sense if you're a little tipsy.
We on? Okay, cool. It's for Amy and Jay. So, back in 2004, Angel was quite unceremoniously canceled, to everyone's sadness. And what we got out of that, though, was a series finale that was pretty phenomenal. And I think everyone in this room would agree.
Yeah.
And I was curious what your thoughts are looking back on the finale 10 years later. And let me say again, so we all feel really old 10 years later. Do you feel it was a fitting end to the series, or was there more story to tell?
Well, I think there was more they had more plan to tell, so I think everybody was surprised that was the end of it. This is what I heard. Maybe you tell me if I'm lying about this, but I remember Joss saying that like season 6 was going to be kind of like mafia almost, like that all these different groups were kind of out on their own, and we were. Did you know about that?
Not really, no.
I either dreamed that or he told me.
I just remember the day that we found out that the show was being canceled. We were shooting the scene where there was that sequence where Lindsay was initially getting his heart cut out every day, and then I ended up taking his place. And so we were shooting the scene where I was laying on the slab, getting my heart cut out, and I had all of this very elaborate makeup all over my chest, so I had to lay on the table for pretty much the entire time while we shot the scene. So I'm laying on the table, stuck on the table, and Joss comes in and says, I have an announcement to make, the show has been canceled. And I was stuck on the table while everyone was mourning what was going on, and I'm literally laying there with my heart cut out, feeling that way. And not able to move. And there was just a moment that I will never forget. One of the crew members saw me there on the table and was like, oh my God, the show just got canceled. Got anything lined up? We just found out. But yeah, I'm sure. I think there was much more story to tell. You know, I would have loved to have played the character for a lot longer than that. So I agree with you. Yes.
There's a theme here.
I love a theme.
Well, I mean, with Joss's shows getting canceled.
I get canceled eventually.
I did. Well, or sometimes, actually, our show, well, Barney Miller didn't get canceled. We quit.
Okay, yeah, I guess that is.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Every show gets to make a super cool movie after they're canceled.
That's true. Yeah.
That's true.
This is for everybody. All three of your characters had like a real duality. Book, I still think you're some kind of secret agent. I'm calling you Book, I'm sorry. But all three of you had like a huge change throughout the series, you know, Fred and Gunn, or, well, not Gunn, but Deathlock, you know, your loving father.
Gunn too, though.
Yeah, Gunn too. So what I'm saying is, do you ever get to the point where you're so attached to your character, they come in and tell you, hey, guess what, you're an evil demon or something like that, and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. or is it work? And you say, yeah, I'm on board.
I love the shooting up I got to do. Yeah. You know, because it was righteous.
No, I mean, I think that's my favorite part of doing really this kind of genre television, is that you don't have to be on a show where you're asking the same questions every week in an interrogation room. You can be in a potato sack and then a blue demon goddess, so. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't realize what a blessing it was. I mean, I definitely did, but even more so after the show was over, what a great opportunity that was to be my first series regular. I mean, that show specifically, because every week we were doing something so different. And just like Amy said, it's not like, so where were you the night of, you know, the murder? You know what I mean? Week after week. And I just remember being on Angel every year. There was one day when I was afraid to go to work because I didn't know if I could do what I was being asked to do. So it was, you know, that aspect of it was absolutely thrilling. Has anybody seen my pano picture yet? It's pretty cool, right? Wasn't that cool?
I think one of the best lines ever written was Book's response to Jane saying, well, preacher, you know, what is this? You're not supposed to be, what's the, you know, doesn't the Bible say you're not supposed to kill people? And Book says, well, yes, but the Bible is a mite fuzzy on the subject of kneecaps.
Hello, so great that you guys are here, and I was so glad to see all three of you coming back to the Whedon universe on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. My question's for Amy and Jay. It's regarding the relationship between Fred and Gunn. And the more I think about it, the more I think that, the more I feel like that even though, you know, it didn't end because of the fact that one or the other got killed like so many other Whedon relationships have, but in a way, because of the way it ended, because of what Gunn did for Fred, it feels a lot more tragic and a lot more painful, and I was wondering how difficult it was to play those scenes after the moment when Gunn kills the professor for Fred.
Well, the scene where I killed the professor for Fred, I found that scene really hard. Do you remember us shooting the scene that day?
Yeah.
Because there wasn't, it was